Yama Obibia Akwaba, Emfa Umbra Mega TV and platform with SO. And then on Alfred Okansi, the show SO Iowa TV3 key points. Yura lawyer Edudzi Tamaklo, our ye emranimni edima NDC legal team no kahubi ekopiem woso. Sansona ora lawyer Edudzi Tamaklo MPA boss, that is National Petroleum Authority, Panyimpa Odano. Sansona owura ye fe no Kofi Bentil Imani Ghana president enso ekopiem ewoso bi. Sansona lawyer Martin Kpebu private legal practitioner enso ekopiem ewoso. And I think say owura ye fe no Andi Appiah Kubi former member of parliament Edema Asante Achim constituency osanso aye embranimni ono eno ye chairman wuntumi lawyer ono nso ekopiem woso. And finally Yewura Musa Dankwa na issues e PP ho na busia program no wa but medical catch se mega ohwemia me summarize bibia ba bia honum ehia no na me dia besom wo Sami Jamfi gold board saga ewumbi sansona enyo no nko a mobeka ya nansi ya yesi nu yam President John Dramani Mahama abema speech abeka nsem bebre ene Eurobonda omokotua ene ye car eswate and how the economy is faring abusia ensem de edoso yebekọ ne yakwakuti emunchire mo ba mesro so do comment betum na wa like na wa share na wa subscribe to this very YouTube channel esanse hanom enansem no eho yenti enseni bi na yakoba ya toaso ediamon.
You know, that's where the problem is. They saw ahead of time that there was going to be a disaster. Let me tell you something. Look, by 2021, it became obvious that the economy was going to crash. But Ken quickly then put up a model and said, look, instead of going to an IMF program, right, I will bring e-levy. So if you recall, November 19th budget, 2021, saw the introduction of e-levy. By which time, we should have been going to the IMF. But as ordained,
well, we are exiting the program.
No, I'm just saying, no, everything, the refusal. It took the governor of Bank of Ghana to tell the president that, Mr. President, the economy is at the verge of collapse. And that is why on Friday, 1st July 2022, Nanado had no other option than to call the IMF boss and say, look, I have come on my knees with my crown in hand. Please come and intervene. And so if you recall, we went to the IMF at the point where we were in intensive care unit. And that is why if you look at the IMF prescriptions and conditionalities, they were the toughest we have seen. Today, our friends in the MPP complain about quarterly tariff adjustment. What they have forgotten is that they signed that commitment to the IMF. Regrettably, because at the time they went to the IMF, they didn't go when the conditions were favorable. They went when everything was down.
I see.
Look, even a champon, the Achamponic era, we never declared DDEP. Achampon never did. But President Nanado Danko Ekufuado with his Fastiano Mame, what's the name?
Okay.
But you know, the head of economic management. And let me conclude on this. Have you seen President Mahama openly announce economic management team?
Well, in the next 1 year, what would it take? No,
have you seen it?
No. What would it take?
But what is the state of the economy?
The economy.
I can't say
the economy is one of the elements identified as one that would sustain or otherwise the president's goodwill for the next 1 year. It's been 1 year of goodwill, not honeymoon.
We'll come to the...
But then, beyond that, what next? That's where we are now.
You see,
quickly.
Many years ago, before the months before the campaign, the election, I went to one of the banks And a man came into the banking hall and pulled me out. He said, Edudzi, we see the work you guys are doing. You have our support for 2024. The economy is in bad shape, so we are not expecting much with President Mahama becoming president. What we just want to see is to see accountability. And that is what, if you recall, resulted in Operation Recover All Loot. Because then we realized that we risked a 1979 scenario where the people then used to shout, let the blood flow. We couldn't have blood flowing, but people wanted to see a certain level of accountability. And that is what culminated in that campaign promise. Do you think those things would have come out?
Oh, you think they wouldn't?
How were they? No. How were they? How were they? So the change itself was good. It was therapeutic.
Yeah.
In fact, NPP members are today enjoying the change.
You say NPP members are enjoying the change. How do you know that?
We talk to them quietly.
And they've been telling you that they enjoy the change.
Look, they tell you, oh, Edudzi, dollar now my no credit the papa. They'll tell you in quiet. Just that they come out to, and it's normal politics, it's understandable. If you come and you are always singing the praise of President Mahama, who will even consider you in future or something for anything? And so, deliberately, you can see the benefit to our people. Okay. Let me conclude on this. Alfred, if you go to the pumps today, right, and I have with me a publication on my Joy Online, Joy Business, 4th December 2024. Check the date. 4th December 2024. Joy Business. And you can Google. Anybody watching us can easily Google. Petrol to sell at 15.30 per liter. Ghana cedis. Diesel to sell 15.80 Ghana cedi per liter. 4th December 2024. 19th December 2025, barely a year after, the same product is selling between 12 and 11. What it tells, even with the 1 Ghana cedi levy, what it tells you is that significantly, there's a cedi savings of almost 3 cedis on every liter. You can't call this AI generated.
Okay.
With all due respect to my senior brother, Brian Achampong, this is not AI generated.
Okay.
This is data. Data that is contestable. The numbers, and like I've given you the same Joy Business. And so I just want to say that, look, in the words of one famous economist, he said, when in doubt, observe the exchange rate. A very famous economist.
All right, thank you. So you are looking at it right now.
Andy, why are you laughing?
All right.
Andy is heckling me. He's heckling me.
And when your fundamentals are weak, the exchange rate will expose you.
So the goodwill 1 year,
2 statements.
economy yes, fight against corruption. That's what
infrastructure and infrastructure. Look, let me say this, and I'll conclude on this.
No,
if you go, if you go online now, there's a story attributed to the Roads Minister, the respected Honorable Kwame Agboja, governor. He says, look, we have done, and we are in the process of awarding over $5 billion worth of road contract. No borrowing.
Very good.
I see.
That's significant.
Okay, let me take off from where my good.
Do you know that the expressway will pass through his
You made your point.
constituency?
Oh,
Thank you.
Pass. Why not?
It will pass through his constituency.
Yes.
Right. Okay. Maybe 2 corrections to make. Indeed, we did not say that e-levy was entirely bad as a policy. What we were saying was that the implementation was flawed. And indeed, the rate was also contestable.
Yes.
Because we had agreed as Parliament to put the rate at 1%.
Okay.
And indeed, we had a unanimity in the agreement. That was in Ho when Parliament met. But it took the recalcitrancy of just the minister then not to listen to all of us. That is how come we started from some 3% that faced some challenges. So it was not a bad policy after all, but it was the implementational difficulties that made it bad. And we couldn't also achieve the targets as expected. So e-levy policy, tax itself is not a bad thing, but the management of the tax arrangement and also the management of the resources that come out of the taxation is what is sometimes problematic. So yes, I agree with my brother. If the rate is stabilized for a long time, we must acknowledge that as a contribution of the economy to the general calculations. I agree to that, and I acknowledge that, and I expect it to continue like that.
Okay.
And if we are able to maintain that, so good for all of us. Why not? But I'm saying that let us not look at only one angle of it and see how it impacts on the other sectors of the economy. And I'm very worried about the impact that this makes on the environment. If we can improve it, I'm not saying mining is bad.
You're talking about Galamsey?
Yes, but responsive mining or responsible mining is probably what we need to address to cushion us of the economic difficulties. So let's improve generally in the economy, looking at also the environment, looking at education and all that. But we can do that sustainably if we are careful, but not careless. So I will not support any program that brings other difficulties in other areas. But let's manage the total economy and ensure that we are getting quality and value for money rather than value from here and degradation on the other side. So generally put all of it in context, we say that it is not bad after all.
But
in fact, the economy...
Is that position all contestable? I've always maintained. The impression had been created that the economy has grown at the expense of the environment. Is that really
we have a culture? We have a culture here. And the culture is that when somebody is speaking...
I'll come to you. So you conclude on the point that you were making.
Hold on. The heckling is permissible.
Yes.
The heckling is not permissible here. So what I'm saying is that, yes, when you see a good thing, support it. I will not challenge if the figures are right, but let me see sustainability in it. And if I have any contribution to put to make it work better for all of us, why not? Me, I'm not particularly interested in who is doing it. I'm particularly interested in who are enjoying it. And if all of us are enjoying from whoever, I think it will be better. So I'm not challenging the figures as they come, because I know also that the dollar rate is low now. That's a fact. I can't sit here and say that the dollar is, the cedi is depreciating beyond. No. It is appreciating, and however it is being done, let's see whether we can improve the system to sustain it. For me, that is my argument. And it doesn't matter if it is NDC doing it and it's doing it for all of us, fine. Probably when we come to inherit a better situation, we will also build on it. But I also agree with him that in our appointment, in fact, most of these things happen because of our flawed appointment systems. When, in the last week when I was here, I told you that in one of the meetings that I participated, some people came to get me out and talk to me that I should intervene because somebody who was supposed to do the bidding for Ghana was failing us. And I said, why? Why should this person be there if he didn't understand what was happening? So I agree with him that when we are going through appointment systems, let's make sure we bring our best foot forward so that all of us will enjoy the benefits. I say come and save him, that kind of scenario.
You say come and save him, what are you talking
about? It doesn't work for us. And then because when you talk about this person not being competent, we will invoke all invectives, negative ones against you. But at the end of the day, it is the end that justifies what we are saying. Well, I'm not saying that the economy was on one person, but in our very case that I know, and when I gave you the scenario, when the whole of Parliament agreed that let's manage 1% of this tax arrangement and manage it well, one person said, no, I won't agree. And that I won't agree superseded the consensus as built. You see, and that was not good enough for the general economy. And this is why we saw the failure in the implementation of that tax
That's the
portfolio.
E-levy.
The E-levy. So if we had agreed and all of us had marketed, probably the results would have been different. But because one person said, no, I will agree, and I remember Honorable Haruna Idrisu, then
Who is this one person who said he's not
then majority leader. We were in Freedom Hotel or something, whole hotel, and he said that we on the minority side, we agree to the 1% as being proposed by the majority. But one person said, no, I wouldn't agree to
Who
that.
is this
and
one
I want
person?
3%.
Who?
And I didn't have that mandate to speak for the government at the time.
Sure.
But both of us in Parliament had agreed on this thing. If we had probably implemented that, we would have gotten better results.
And that,
so it
that
gives
one
us
person's voice was that strong enough to topple all the others?
It gives us the lesson that going forward, let's consult and let's listen to all opinions. Because in that mandate, you are operating for Ghana, not for yourself, or not for one political party, or not for the government alone. You are operating for the whole country. So listen to other people's opinion and let's work for the betterment of Ghana. So I agree. If it will take even the devil to come and make Ghana good, I will support any initiative that makes us good or makes us look good and brings us more competitiveness even on the international platform.
You say even if it will take the devil
Yes,
to get us
out of economic doldrums, I will support the devil to do that.
Kofi Bentil is private legal practitioner. He's a vice president of Imani Africa.
So what I'm saying is that I don't care who does it.
Yes, I get the point.
But I'm worried about who will not do it right.
Okay.
And who will do right, I will support.
Even if it is the devil. Thank you.
Even if it takes the devil.
Thank you.
Kofi, you are welcome.
Bentil, good morning. Welcome.
I thought
Thank you for joining us.
30 seconds.
I have to welcome.
So that you
Happy New Year. Wait.
A very important point my senior has made this morning.
Thank you. Thank you.
Gendarme does not stay. We have to kill the gendarme.
Thank you, and a happy new year to you. We wish the best for this year, for this station, for yourself,
Thank you.
for everyone in Ghana.
Indeed. And welcome.
Are you worried about the
1 year on, you still think that the president is enjoying some goodwill. What will that take, in terms of, let's do this. We've seen what Musa Dankwa is reflected, the job approval, standard of living. How do you see the next 1 year playing out?
The next 1 year?
They've identified corruption, the economy, Galamsey.
So, you see, when it comes to these stats, job approval, etc., I think a better way to appreciate this is to appreciate it in perspective, all right? Because we tend to forget very quickly, especially in Ghana, but generally, and history is a very good guide. Now, if you watch the Third Republic, every president, apart from maybe President Mills, has enjoyed intense honeymoon in their first year. All right? So this sentiment is very normal. Look, let me just refresh your memory. President Kufuor came after President Rawlings. And all the people here were alive. When we were trying to transit into a democracy, nobody believed that President Rawlings would give up power. From when the constitution was done to the transitional provisions, everybody thought, no, this man will never give up power. We had an election, he won, we just left it alone. Finally, President Kufuor won. Every day, people thought President Rawlings would come back and take power one way or the other. The whole first year of President Kufuor, we wake up and we're wondering, is this government still there? And there was this euphoria. And in that instance, it was actually mixed with some fear. So we're very happy when after 1 year, okay, of President Kufuor, this country was still stable. And I remember, it was euphoric. It went into the next year, all right? After that, we expected, in fact, some MPP people said NDC will stay in opposition for 30 years. The next person we expected was President Nado to take over from him. And he lost on a runoff. And President Mills came in. So note, President Mills came in after losing first round and winning second round. He wasn't really expected to. So he was very, gingerly. But a lot of sympathy inured to the benefit of Nado. And after 3 rounds, Nado became president. People wept during Nado's inauguration. We forgot these things. It was intense emotion. In the first year of Nado, it was the same thing. In fact, more. People were happy, went into the next. In fact, the first 4 years, even after the 4 years of Nado, when things didn't look like they were going well, Nado got the second term. Because people were really euphoric. He managed to mess up so bad that around the 8 years, everybody wanted him out. And then President Mahama, who had the bad run in the previous times, comes in riding on the disaffection against President Nado.
Except he's better. His record shows he's better.
Let me do my work. Let me do my work. Okay. 1, riding on the disaffection against President Nado. 2, people also felt like he has suffered all the things that he suffered. And you had the worst economic performance in the history of this country, where people actually lost their money after the president promised them that they won't lose any money. The sentiments were intensely against them. To that extent, therefore, this government, even if they did nothing, all right, the change was therapeutic. I remember speaking to some investors, once in a while, these people come around and they call us and we talk to them.
Yeah.
And I told them that, look, even though I would have preferred a different outcome, President Mahama winning was therapeutic and necessary for Ghana.
It was therapeutic.
It was therapeutic and necessary for
We're
Ghana.
using the same expressions as Edudzi at some point. Yes.
Because that's true. People just wanted to break with this thing. All right? So for me, I'm happy with it. And we came from such a low that even stabilizing this economy and not doing much was going to be sufficient. Then I realized I'm an analyst. We watch these things.
Absolutely.
Good presidents tend to be lucky.
Good presidents
tend to be lucky.
What do you mean?
What I mean is that there's a saying that, fortune favors the brave and the universe conspires to the aid of they that are seeking the good things in life. The whole universe, let me explain why I'm saying what I'm saying. People are saying the city has appreciated, which is true. All right? But what they are not saying is that the dollar has depreciated across the world. All right? I work in a place where we are analyzing the economics. People are giving a lot of, kudos to Gold Board. Gold Board has done something. But the effect of Gold Board on the city today is less than 10%. Watch the numbers. The dollar has depreciated. There's so many different things playing out. But the point I'm making is that good presidents tend to be lucky. All right? The whole of this year, this government has almost not spent. The first 6 months, they didn't spend anything. Even up to now, there are, intentions to spend and that kind of thing, but not much expenditure has happened. And we've gone 1 year already. Okay? When you work the economics of it, everything is working towards what we are saying today. And it is good in his government. What I mean is, there are people in the government, including nice people like Edudzi, who would want some wilder reactions, okay, given the change of government. And President Mahama is stamping them all down. Point I'm making is that we are lucky as a country to have that man. So look, everybody knows where I stand. But like my senior here said, when you see good things, commend them.
Yes.
And whatever we did to get these things, let's continue to do those things. What is leading to this outcome? And I'm speaking to the young people who talk by heart. Is that we have sustained a democracy which allows us to change governments. And we don't have a despot holding a gun telling us what to do. And that is what we must maintain, no matter how bad it gets. We ought to be able to get up as a people, go to a polling station. If even you are like me and you didn't like this particular outcome, live with it, because this is the best that the world, human beings, have devised for themselves. So, given what we are seeing here, I am not surprised, but I have given you a historical perspective that, look, it is not strange, okay? The task or the challenge is what happens in the next 3 years. I hear them talk about $5 billion worth of infrastructure. If they are able to invest $5 billion in infrastructure
without
and finish,
borrowing.
I'm coming there. If they're able to do that without borrowing and complete what they want to do, I will stand here, commend them, okay, and clap for them.
You vote for them.
Oh, listen.
Bring the ice.
But the
Let me
commendation
tell you something.
results in the
Listen. You see, today, the only person, okay, that I will vote for above President Mahama is President Baumia. If Baumia were not there, I will vote for Mahama. Okay, but Mahama is not coming back. Who are you bringing?
Okay.
It comes to that.
That question of who are you bringing leads us to the next issue. This, you wanted to do a quick,
there are some
rebuttal.
two issues that
quick
came
one.
up.
Yes, quickly.
I think that we have grown and made the economy better, not at the expense of the environment.
Oh,
And I say this because, you see, the attempt has been made to water down the impact of the economic growth. And there had been this other conversation. Look, if you look at the phenomenal work done by Gold Board, let me say this. In a year, if you have a situation where, through the instrumentality of one agency, right, you can have about $10 billion worth of forest repatriation. That is phenomenal. Look, what Gold Board has done, that is what we use Eurobond to do in 6 years.
it's not true.
I'll tell you why it is true. The data. By first year of President Akufo-Addo, with Dr. Muhammadu Bawumia as the chair of the economic management team, we had done 2.25 Franklin Templeton bond in the first year.
Because they met a mess.
Calm down. We have not done so, even though we have met a mess. That's the point I'm making. So you brought yourself.
No.
Okay.
Because
You are,
I was speaking, he came in here. Let me put it in perspective. Listen. At the time that I was on the floor, you came in. Okay, finish your
I
point.
also want to rebut the dollar decline.
Finish your point.
I also have that economic
let me just
You're all
make this
taking
point.
us out of context.
Yes.
Please, let's
So
stay
the
on.
point I am making is that you have a situation where, through the instrumentality of Gold Board, the 6 years Eurobond of $11 billion, right? You've gotten that same $10 billion forest repatriation in a year.
Yes.
No external commitment on the Republic. The Eurobond brought external commitment to the Republic. Not only external commitment, it became debilitating to the point that we needed to go for a DDEP, which eventually resulted in elderly people, for the first time in our political history, going on demonstrations. Those are records you can never take away from what President Mohammed's team of economists have done in stabilizing.
Right.
The question is, have that been done against the backdrop of the environment? Certainly, we've been able to provide a clear balance. And that, for me, is the record.
Thank you. That's what you wanted to say. The quick one. He concluded on a point, which was to respond to an issue that Kofi Bentil raised.
We are commending the government, okay? You people keep talking about Gold Board.
Okay.
Yes. Look, watch what has happened with Gold Board. It was PMMC. The difference between the performance of PMMC and Gold Board is very little. That is one. This government came and met 30 tons of gold in office. Okay, and in 1 year, they added just about 1 ton. Now, you've sold $10 billion worth of gold and pumped the money into the economy and added just 1 ton. The people who saved the 30 tons, they could have sold it and pumped the money into the economy. All right? So, look, let's have perspective that it's not everything that you've done which is the best that could have been done. And it does not necessarily cast a negative shadow on the previous government because they saved 30 tons of gold. And they could have chosen to sell it and pump it into the market.
Now, let me also come in. 30 tons. We printed printed money to buy the 30 tons and it created fragments and the IMF stopped us. The IMF stopped us.
The value of 30 tons is far more than the
disclosure.
How much
the IMF had to stop us because we created inflation.
Martin,
How much did you buy?
And how much was the value of the 30
How
tons?
you presented as if it was
I'll come to you on it.
Okay,
So you hold on.
let me land. When these arguments are made without figures, it throws dust in the eyes of people. What is the value of 30 tons of gold? Okay, and how much was printed? We have all condemned the economic mess. Okay, so let him speak to those things because you did 10 billion. How much is that in gold? The simple point I'm making is this: with a different set of decision making. And by the way, it was Bawumia was in charge of some of those things, which some of us criticized. Okay, but the point I am making is that even when you take credit, be careful to apportion it properly.
How?
Because if you didn't have 30 tons of gold, you would not have the base with which to sell what you sold and bought 1 billion.
Look,
So
Senior Kofi tried to downplay. Senior Kofi tried to downplay the economic work President Mahama has done by trying to say that, listen carefully, that the U.S. currency, it is because of a weakened
Yes, exactly.
How come the Naira is not doing well?
Exactly, that's where I was coming
it's a fact that the U.S. currency is the weakest it has been in 50 years.
Because the U.S. currency is doing so badly. How come that the Nigerian Naira is doing as better as the Ghanaian cedi?
And that's what I wanted to say that. That's what I wanted. So it all depends.
Now, I want to hear you.
So let's repeat.
That's a contributing factor. So let's repeat.
How come the Naira is not doing well?
Let me hear. If there was that global weekend effect,
Yes.
we now have to
factor.
Yes.
Let's disaggregate how much of that contributed to what we are experiencing now.
Listen carefully.
But then again,
listen
also
carefully. The Ghanaian economy has always been unique. I recall many years ago, Dr. Bawumia asked a person. He said, how come that global factors have left all other countries and it is only Ghana? Because at that time, the Honorable Setekwe had put out there that having read the budget and projected that crude prices was going to be about $85 per barrel. We woke up one morning and crude prices had come to $45 per barrel. And when we raised that issue that it is that impact that has impacted on the economy between 2014 and 2016, Bawumia's response is that global factors, how come that they've left Ivory Coast and come to Ghana?
Yes, excellent.
Today, curiously, we are being told that it is not because of anything novel. Nothing about ingenuity.
No, he's talking about
I didn't say that.
Nothing about creativity.
I said contributory factors.
Please.
The international-
You see, we lawyers, we know why we say we use the word contributing factors. It's a smart way of saying.
No, this is economics. These are physics.
But you know what economics?
This is
It's a smart way of saying that. But for.
No, he's saying that
U.S. economy or the
he's saying that the weakened U.S. economy
what has happened to the Naira? What has happened to the Naira? How come Naira is not
I want to hear
please. Why there's no gold in
the
Nigeria?
point that Edudzi made, which you corroborated.
Yes.
Even they have proof.
Yes, exactly. So I want us to put on record that please, that 30 tons, as we started increasing our stock of gold, we printed money, created inflation. The IMF had to stop us.
How much?
Had to stop us. So it came at a cost. If it was good, the IMF wouldn't have stopped us. So you don't say one side and leave the other. Number two, listen, the US currency depreciation, right? Look, it's cyclical. The US currency, you see, it started going up from 2010. So at a point in time, it had to drop. What are some of the factors? One of them is that, listen, people, the US takes a lot of foreign investment, right? Now, those who invest in the US, they have to take hedges against their US asset exposures. That's one of the things that weaken the currency. What has Ghana got to do that? What has Ghana? Ghana has not gone in that.
Thank you very much. Thank you. You made your point. You see, we all agree that there was a situation which was inherited, which has improved. That we agree. It's not contested.
No.
That this 1 year on,
We're better off.
we're better off.
Yes.
It is how it all played out which you all
Yes.
disagreeing. But then again, the fundamental acknowledgement has to be there. But
We're trying
then
to
that question
disagree
that you
again
asked
on other factors.
is what leads us into the next issue of who the NDC is bringing. Nobody, let me just put it on record before we even start, that none of the persons who Musa Dankwa has been putting on his post have come out in any way, shape or form to say they are interested in contesting as flag bearer for the NDC.
Yeah, great.
So it's more of conjecture, speculation.
Not exactly
speculating.
conjecture.
Unless you know something I don't know. But there's 6 that if elections were held in December 2025, right, with the same candidates, this is the outcome. The almost 13,500 people say they would. 62% of them say they would have voted for John Dramani Mahama. 31% Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia. And then you see the others as well. That was if elections were held, that's 1 year on. So clearly, the president is still enjoying some level of approval, goodwill, and support. But then, this question that you asked, last week, we analyzed the outcome of the delegates. But this is to the generality of the Ghanaian people, that's the voters.
Correct.
All 13,500 people were eligible voters, correct?
Yes.
Above 18.
Yes.
And this was the outcome. Tell me what we are saying now.
I mean, basically, you wanted to know whether the views of the general public in terms of who should lead NDC reflects those of the delegates.
Right.
So we asked them, who would you prefer? We know they don't vote as Ghanaians. The delegates elect flag bearers. But who would you prefer to lead MPP in the 2028 elections? 55. Yeah. No, this one is public.
All right, good.
55.8 said they would have preferred Bawumia to lead.
55.8.
Yes. And 28.2 said Kennedy Ohene Ajepo. 6.2, Dr. Brian Achampong. 5.5, Dr. Yao Osei Educhum. And 4.3, Engineer Kwabna Ajepo. This is the public decision, not delegate decision.
So, yes, that's how I put that distinction, because last week we spent some time talking about what the delegates
were.
But this is a public decision. Well, Appiah Kubi, your surprise candidate, Dr. Brian Achampong, is in here somewhere.
Sure.
And
I'm happy that this is an appreciation from the figures of last week. And I'm also happy that the delegates are also thinking differently now. And I'm also privy to recent reports suggesting that the appreciation of votes is so much with Dr. Brian Achampong now than any one of them.
I see.
So I'm very positive that come the end of this month, we'll see the surprise that I talked about last week.
The surprise element Dr. Brian Achampong is bringing into
yes,
the
I
race.
talked about last week. And don't forget that last week there were undecided figures, which I aggregated as possibility of gravitating towards Dr. Brian Achampong to show up his figures. And I'm still positive that so will happen, because I see depreciation in the figures of the other two.
The two, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia and Kennedy Achampong.
From one polling that I'm privy to, and all heading towards Dr. Brian Achampong. And in fact, the one is not polling per se, it is profiling. We've done some profiling, giving us very comfortable figures. So I'm sure it will translate into the polls, the last polls of my good friend when he comes this week or 2 weeks from now.
True. I was having a conversation.
We've done some profiling.
When
it's suggestive of Dr. Brian Achampong winning as a surprise candidate.
As a surprise. So
and I'm very sure that the next results coming from Musa will capture the trend, the new trend.
It will be interesting to see what you're privy to.
But I say something quickly on this poll? Something quickly.
No, I'm not even. I'm going to come to you. I'm only just.
You've had one hour.
Come to you next. So just to indicate that, sometime within the week when you release this, the conversation was how representative this is because you have some 13,500
Delegates.
this was if not delegate. This was
the population.
Population.
Yes.
And you have almost some 17 million eligible voters.
18.5 million.
How representative is this?
Look,
Going in, if you want to test the pulse of eligible voters in the country.
When people are checking on white
Alfred,
the pig.
sampling is by applying a formula to derive the sample. Those who have done statistics and are aware of the sample frame, which is the EC sample frame, 18.5, if they use the formula they were taught in school, they will get figures far lower than what we have done. I don't want to sit here and make another argument. Those making those arguments know the truth. In America, United States of America, they have 161 million voters. The sample size in those countries in America largely exceed 6,000. We are 18.5 million.
Yeah. Polling is a science.
It's a science. It's the way you deploy your sample. Is it proportional to the way people vote in terms of who are on the register?
Okay.
So that you don't skew northeast and give you more vote than Ashanti region. That's where you get
compromises the integrity.
Absolutely.
Of the
so
polls.
I think we've gone beyond the sampling argument. We have even sampled with 2,500 Ghanaian voters who told us that they would vote 54% for Mahama. And we got what? 56 with 2,500.
I see.
How much more? 11,000, 13,000.
For as long as it's representative enough.
Absolutely.
And this is from all 16 regions, right?
I'm talking about the profiling.
So profiling and polling are different. They're two different things. That's what we put it. Edudzi Tamaklo, just a quick one, and I'll come to you. Mr. Bentil, please, quick.
On this MPP thing, what I have to say is that, look, the very moment the MPP or the other candidate agreed for the amendment to the MPP constitution to allow for the election of flag bearer before the election of branch, constituency, regional, and national officers, that was the day they all surrendered to Bawumia.
How is that possible?
Look, President Akufo-Addo is a very crafty, smart politician and had built the infrastructure for Bawumia in 2023.
If you say he's built the infrastructure.
Yes, smart guy.
Well,
He's built that infrastructure for him in 2023. So the very moment his other opponents decided that let's allow him to be elected flag bearer before we even do branch, constituency, regional, national elections. That was the day they surrounded the election. And you know why? In 1992, if you recall, we had presidential election before parliamentary. The MPP went out and said this was a clever gerrymandering in the sense that once the people get to know who their president was, it will shape how they will vote parliamentary. And that is why in 1996, they fought so hard to get both presidential and parliamentary to happen the same day. And so if you look, all the political parties from 1992, we organize the branches, do constituency election, do regional election, do constituency before flag bearer. It's the last on the ticket.
Well,
the only reason why this thing happened was a notion of quid pro quo. If you vote for me as flag bearer, I will most likely allow you. Because at this point, if you are a constituency executive and you are a delegate and you are seen openly campaigning for either Brian Achampong, Kennedy Japon, right? And now
it's a matter of strategy.
it's no strategy. This is it's a strategy that had worked for Dr. Bawumia.
Get their flag
I
bearer
agree with him
out
that
of the way.
It was a
wrong
strategy.
for us
Deal with
to
the
have
rest.
taken that route. I agree with him that it was wrong, but it is not that. It is not that they
Surrounded.
decided. They accepted. It was a proposition that came from the party, and I didn't support it. So many others didn't. But unfortunately, the majority of us thought that in the National Council that should be, and it became.
But
so
you have
it is
reason
that
to disagree.
I totally disagree with it.
Okay.
In fact, I even campaigned against it. But unfortunately, the National Council, that argument won the day.
Right.
And that we have taken that as the route to take. So all of them, they had to surrender to that decision. Nevertheless, it is not by any means a surrender to Dr. Bawumia as the leader. We are going to vote. And like I'm saying, we've done our profiling, we've done our preparation. We are campaigning seriously.
Okay.
And I'm promising you that we'll
There'll
come
be a
here with
surprise.
This contest should have been a straight contest.
Round it up for me.
Yeah, let me just round up. This contest, and I looked at senior Musa Dankwa's model.
Round it up for me.
If you look at the model he's prepared, very interesting model. But you see, the only way any of them would have any chance, it should have been a 2-horse race. Either Bawumia, Ken Ejapon, Bawumia, Brian Achampong. With all the others, all they will do is to split the numbers. Okay. There's no way Dankwa's model will fail. I mean,
I see.
I mean, there's no.
Okay. There's no way. That let's come to Mr. Bentil.
They surrounded everything.
Thank you very much. See, I sat here and said that we should stop listening.
Gentlemen, please.
We should stop listening to the prophets and be listening more to people like Musa Dankwa. I believe in God and data. I believe in God and data. Information is another thing. How people put the data to get a certain kind of information is a different matter. And polling is a science. The nature of the science is borne out by the outcomes. All right? Mm-hmm. So you risk your own, situation if you choose not to observe some of these things. And you see, when Edudzi and Co get so worked up about somebody's political party, now listen to this. It is not wise to take the advice of the fox when he tells you where to store your chicken.
Look at that.
Are you listening?
It is not wise to take the advice
of the fox when he tells you where to store your chicken.
Because he will go after them.
Why is it that NDC has such a focus on Dr. Bawumia and give all kinds of advice to the effect that, and you've surrendered to Dr. Bawumia, why did you do that? Look, all politics is strategy. All politics is strategy. And when somebody has sat down, look at what happened in the US. In the middle of an election, they put one man down, put another woman there. But for some weird things that happened, that woman ran the best campaign within less than 200 days. Who are you again to be advising MPP, your opponent, where to keep their chickens? And I think there is a certain point that must be appreciated over there. Look, I know my senior is talking about Brian and Co. These are very fine guys. In fact, left to me, and I keep telling people I'm not an MPP member. Some of these people should have paired up. I have a right to be a member of anything.
Okay.
So I choose to. Please. Some of these people should have fine gentlemen. Okay.
You mean Kennedy Ejapon, Brian Achampong?
No, I mean Dr. Bawumia. You look at Engineer Kwabena Ejapon, Brian Achampong, Kennedy Yaoduchum, But see, I won't go into some other things. Mm-hmm. Of this group, who doubts in their right analysis that Dr. Bawumia is head and shoulders above all of them for many different reasons. And this is a man who has managed to be head and shoulders above all of them after being 20 years in the front line of Ghana's politics, to the point of being vice president for 8 years in a government that many people think is one of the most unpopular in the Fourth Republic. You need to appreciate that in perspective. That a man stays in the front for about 20 years, manages to be who he has been for 20 years, okay? Mm-hmm. Manages to be part of the government which was just voted out, okay? And still is the most popular. It should tell you something about the quality of that man.
Let's look at it this way. You talked about the 20-year, period that Dr. Bawumia has been in the politics of this country. Popularity against viability. The popularity of the candidate you see, but how does that translate into the viability of the candidate?
In this case,
within this, what he has
in this
done
case, the viability is what is leading to the popularity. Let me explain. If any of the other gentlemen are put to the test, the kind of fire that Dr. Bawumia has been subjected to, the close scrutiny, the man just went through an election where every aspect of him, including the dressing of his wife, was put under intense light. And he comes out. No.
All our candidates
please. Edudzi, you are hearing me.
No, but you know,
let me finish my point.
You know it's not unique.
You see, he doesn't want me to make my point.
It's not unique.
I am saying, if
Popularity
any of
is
these
not
fine gentlemen,
acceptability.
were put under the same intense scrutiny, all right, they will not come out like Dr. Bawumia has come out. And let me tell you something. Dr. Bawumia is not so much everybody's emotional, intense favorite. He just tends to be the person who they know is the best horse for this race. Look, I can tell you that there are people who love Kennedy Japan more than Dr. Bawumia. They believe in his style and his brashness, but when they sit and they think, they know this man is a can-do man, is this and that and all those other things, but he will not win as the presidency. There are people who like Brian Champion for whatever it is. But are you sure that if they scrutinize this man the way Dr. Bawumia has been scrutinized, will he stand? Dr. Edudzi, okay, there are cases, Oral and Co. are checking on him. It doesn't mean he's guilty, all right? But he's under scrutiny. We don't know what will come out of it. Look at Kwabena Japan. There is almost nobody who has anything against
Gentlemen.
There is almost nobody who has anything against Kwabena Japan. In fact, what I have heard is that people are saying Kwabena Japan shouldn't have been running, should have been helping Dr. Bawumia. My point is, if you weigh all of them...
Or she should be helping Brian Champo.
Well, yes, however. But you see, the point is that Kwabena Japan is one of the most popular politicians in MPP today. But the question is whether he will be a viable presidential candidate. So the answer to your question directly is that of the lot, the one who is the most viable in terms of presidential candidate. Let me finish my point.
Make your point, Bawumia is the most popular. It's popularity, acceptability.
Thank you.
Do you record popularity?
So when you boil them all down,
what are we talking about?
The viability of all these people is many levels below Dr. Bawumia, and the best test of it is the performance that you saw in the last election, which wasn't good per se, okay, but under the circumstance, okay, was the best MPP could have gotten. And in the next run, you will see when Dr. Bawumia comes into his own. So please don't take the advice of the foxes when they tell you where to take your chicken.
So can I come in? Can I ask a simple question? Alfred, can I ask a simple question? Is popularity the same as acceptability?
When you look, because you say you're going to deal with data, and you like data.
Yes,
you believe data.
in God and data.
In fact, he was
What will play out in subsequent slides also brings up some other dimensions of the conversation as to. That's why I asked the question about the popularity juxtaposed with the viability of the candidate. How about Kpebu? That's a quick one.
Yeah, so on this thing, I just do right information.
If anybody comes to
has been attending
that's
Yoko
a very bad
accusation. Has Bawumia been attending Yoko or not? Every time you see one of the accused persons, the money, follow the money.
What happens?
Yes.
You said if Yoko is investigating.
Yes, Bawumia is under investigation. So, for receiving part of the loot in one of the cases.
But that is an investigation which we are not privy to.
Yes, but
until then, we cannot associate ourselves with.
And I've even said it, so it has come out.
We can.
I pray that we relax because there was another assassin attributed to investigations going
on. I just wanted to be clear. To the extent that is not out,
and equally this
you are privy to it.
Yes.
We don't know.
But I can also blow a whistle if I've heard it. I can also
the same way that I'm suggesting that we draw.
There are NDC people under investigation.
Yes.
There are NDC people under investigation today.
That's why I said
so please don't go there. The man has been scrutiny for 20 years.
No, let's stay focused.
It's also very important. No, it's equally important.
I like that.
It's Edudzi, the Caesar's wife's test.
Yeah.
Why would you even allow? What did you do to allow this rumor to even come? And
We all say that any fool can go to court. Any fool can make an allegation.
Calm down.
The same way that
Gentlemen,
I want
I have
to
said
drop
that.
allegation
Thank you very
against
much.
Dr.
Yeah.
Aduchu.
I think that
Let's
matter
exactly,
hearing
yes.
settled.
Oh, we are
Thank
not.
you.
Drunk. If they are going
Thank
to
you very
Yoko,
much.
they are going to Yoko. There's nothing.
That is not the subject of the discussion.
Or is
That is
it
not the
important?
subject of discussion.
Okay, yes. So the
But Martin, you know
candidates.
you agitate senior.
Okay,
Bring
hold on.
Bamia into the
Yes, okay, let me go.
Yeah, but he's-
So my lawyer says Bawumia is the most.
Wait. Lawyer Martin Kpebu is speaking.
Okay, thank you.
I raised some contentions with the earlier point.
Yes.
Having settled that, let's move on.
Okay.
Wait.
Yeah. So looking at all the candidates, you see, listen, this thing, you know, I've said it time ad nauseum that this whole range of candidates, it tells me one thing, that the MPP is not ready for the 2028 elections. They are not ready. There is a tone-deaf attitude that got them into opposition in the first place. How can you parade Bawumia? Bawumia, who is a feather with a Kufuado, we said the basic, birds of a feather flock together. Bawumia is a Kufuado. Bawumia is a Kufuado. Bawumia, how is he going to fly? Remember, you see, do this mathematics. You see, it's easy this way. NDC, MPP have a certain constant, right? Until the 2024 elections, the general wisdom was that it's 45-45. That's 45% for NDC, 45% for MPP. But Bawumia performed so shambolically that even MPP members had to vote for JM, right? Such a man who helped Akufo-Addo to unleash terror on us, economic doldrum, right? Haircuts, left, right, center. Where is he going to get a better record to campaign? You have to bring somebody who is not tainted. Somebody who is not, and then when it comes to Kennedy upon, you know, he lacks the temperament and everything to be president, so we'll not waste any more time on that. Brian Champion who wanted to take our hotels for a song. Brian Champion wanted to take our hotels for a song, but for the leadership of Okujeto, who mobilized Ghanaians.
And do you know what is happening now?
For a
Do you
song.
know when Slate came to Public Accounts Committee, they are saying that even they are looking for somebody to invest in that company.
Yes, but it's not the same as take it for a
so
song.
your beef is that it is a Ghanaian that applied.
Hold on.
He will look as dry. We will not make that.
you
want
want
to
to all the other candidates.
you want to
the other candidates they
entertain
put
a
up.
foreigner to come and invest.
He will look as dry. Brian
Hold on,
Champo
hold on.
will look
Thank
as
you.
dry. In any event, come on, but it's so laughable. That's why I say MPP is not ready for 2028. Listen, you want a candidate. Edudzi doesn't have the charisma. You see, he doesn't have the charisma.
Is that all you look out for in a leader?
No, it's also very important. Very, very important. He doesn't have the charisma for presidency.
So
presidency.
become our
He's a
president.
good guy, right? Oh, I've seen him once or twice. That's it. But when you're looking for a president, there's that spark. There's something. He hasn't postured, you see, as somebody who can be father of the nation. No. Kwabena Japan, not, I mean, I have nothing to say that
For me,
particularly.
it's the best
It's just
among
that it's not, you see, his time is gone.
Are you sure?
His time is gone, you see. And when I say that, the reason Kwabena Japan, I say his time is gone is that for 2028, no, he cannot win. And so the real game is for 2032. That's why I keep saying that. So they should bring the youngster, bring Buama, you see, Patrick Buama, so that he will contest 2028, lose, and then by 32, everybody say, yes, now he's right. That's the game.
All right.
2028,
That's your recommendation.
yes, Buama.
Is your view.
Yes.
Support him to
Yes.
come.
Okay.
So Bawumia, bringing Bawumia for 2028 is like, it's just, it means MPP is dashing NDC the
No, but
presidential.
Martin, what about?
Thank you.
But Martin,
You see,
Martin, what about it being a strategy by the MPP?
You have your view. Okay, and that remains your view, just as everyone else on the table have their view.
Alfred, is it
how
also
does
not,
that, gentlemen,
Alfred,
hold on, how does
Alfred,
that
is it
also
not also a
reflect on
strategy
the
that maybe
views
by
of the
repeating
people
him,
Let him do
that
his
have
work.
Ghanaians
been
will like
captured
him.
in here?
Fly.
Oh, your
Maybe it's a
microphone is off.
strategy.
Well, this is it. And you asked this question about who leads the NDC.
Oh, no,
He says it's premature.
The man do his work.
But then again, as I indicated, all these people
This conversation
have
is
not in
premature.
any way come out to declare their intentions of whether or not they want to lead the NDC. So why are you doing this?
Alfred, who else will lead NDC outside this group?
You're asking who else will lead.
Which MC? Which MC? Which CEO? Which CEO will lead NDC outside this group?
But Mr. Dankwa, this analysis is completely premature.
I see. Well,
We are done.
why do you think there wouldn't be any other
Well, we say we need
outside of this group?
But
Edu NDC,
this
this
is the
we need-
result of a pool.
To be a leader in this country, you can't come from the back and lead the country.
Yes.
Absolutely not. Nobody that is unknown to the public can somehow catapult himself to lead
Into
NDC.
leadership.
It won't happen.
And
see.
again, I'm very satisfied.
Thank you.
because,
I'll come to you. No, you're not on yet.
Okay.
This is it. You say that based on your argument
Yes.
and the information you say you are privy to, these are the persons who have not come out to declare, but you are using them for your test samples. Haruna Idrisu, Dr. Kasila Tuforsin, Joseph Siedun Ketia, Professor Jenan Opoko-Agyemang. On your previous post, she was not in there.
And this guy took me to the cleanest. Zato.
Yes. So now you have amended. You have added her.
Yes.
Julius Debra, Samuel Okujeto Ablakwa, Professor Joshua Alabi, and then Eric Opoku.
Yes.
They are great minister.
Yes.
And this was the outcome.
This is the outcome from
I
the
see.
general populace of this country.
Let's then put Edudzi and John Dumelo.
No, put that
You have Haruna Idrisu on 26%. Atuforsin on 23%.
Choose trusted, hand-picked instructors who will turn lessons into lifelong memories. You'll know exactly who's teaching them, giving you peace of mind as they fall in love with skiing. Don't just book a lesson, book an adventure with Maison Sport.
If anyone emerges outside,
Honorable Eric Opoku, 2%.
if anyone emerges outside of this group, would that be a surprise to you?
It will not happen.
How do you say this so emphatically?
Look,
God and data.
not everything that I do that I put out. We have a lot of data we don't put out there in public. We know what we are doing. Nobody will come outside this group to lead NDC.
But the numbers can change.
Numbers
Will change.
And I
Will
want
change.
the numbers also change.
The numbers
Will
will change.
change.
The numbers will change.
Yes.
But the faces,
Because,
some may even completely drop
I'm
off.
disappointed with
I
some
see.
of the numbers you put
Interesting.
down there.
But then you go ahead to do this head-to-head
Yes.
of, the top 3 or 4 persons you picked from here.
Yeah.
That assuming it is Haruna Idrisu against Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, if elections were held within that period they did this poll, which was in December last year, 2025, this would have been the outcome. Meaning that the goodwill that John Mahama is enjoying is rubbing off all these persons that you put out. 56% Haruna Idrisu as against Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, 40%. Dr. Kasila Tuforsin, 58% as against Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, 38% if elections were held in December. That's interesting.
Why the difference?
Why the difference?
Demography. When you put Haruna Idrisu against Dr. Bawumia, the accounts don't have their favorite. You see the accounts sitting on the fence. Some will not vote.
I see.
When you throw in Atuforsin, then they come out.
That's what led to the increase.
The changes you are seeing there.
And then you go to
Asiedun Ketia. Yes. He is performing far worse than Atuforsin and Haruna Idrisu compared to against Bawumia. For that race, it is much tighter for NDC if it is Mosquito against Bawumia. 10 points here instead of maybe 12 or 13.
And then you do Julius Debra.
The same thing. He is on the same level as Mosquito, slightly. And this is against
Kennedy Ejapong.
Put him against Dr. Bawumia.
We'll put that up.
We'll come there. So against Kennedy, Debra is 53, and Kennedy is 51. You put Haruna Idrisu against Kennedy. Haruna goes 61%, and Kennedy goes to 34%. You know why?
Tell me.
In a race in the north where DMB is not a ticket, the entire northern bloc vote protest against MPP, and they go to Haruna Idrisu.
I see. Protest vote.
The entire northern sector, northern votes.
Because Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia's footprints in the northern Ghana is not without the...
Yes.
Then you see...
Here, the same effect, but then the accounts again come out a lot more when it is Atu than when it is Haruna Idrisu in the southern part. But they retain the northern sector because Bawumia again is not in the ticket. On the ticket. When you put Asedun Ketia, he goes up compared to Bawumia. But then Kennedy also does worse compared to Bawumia against Mosquito.
Interesting. Then you see it. But you know, in the next 28 days, the MPP would have crossed this hurdle of who is going to be leading the party into 2028. It will then be the NDC also having to carry their own.
With Dr. Brian Champon as contestant on our ticket. Do that and let's see the difference.
There's a trend. It doesn't have to do
anything. No. You answer that question. Yes. Why are you not?
We have a criteria. If you're not crossing a threshold, we will not use you as a head-to-head.
Wait till 31st and you see him cross.
After 31st, he will do it.
We'll see. And the same demographic factors will work for Dr. Brian Champon, as you suggested, because it is not just only in the Akan, but Akan with some constituency within the Akan region will make a difference.
You are very popular.
Okay. Well, thank you. That's your view on this. So in 28 days, we'll see the picture will be clear. But then for the NDC, they will have a lot more to also deal with and think about going forward. You have put your neck on the chopping board on this.
But these numbers will change. And there's a crucial thing that I think should be said. The power of incumbency gives every NDC candidate a 30% lead immediately. All right?
Right.
Anybody the NDC puts up has a 30% going for them already because of the goodwill that President Mahama is banking for them.
And if he continues.
That is
for now, that is one.
And if he continues.
And that's where I'm going. So that is now. There's 3 years to come. And these 3 years are going to be the tests. The spending will start, the jockeying will start. Okay, the scandals will come up. They are cooking them right now. All right, and then you have a situation where.
How do you know scandals are being cooked?
I know you hear some.
Check
they are busy right now cooking scandals. From Ora. Relax, let me finish. See, and then you have a situation where they are changing horse. President Mahama is not on the ballot. President Mahama has been at the front of Ghana's politics for the past 40 or so years, 30 at least. All right. Has been tested left, right, and center, and is right now on top. None of these gentlemen have gone through that. Okay? So when those chips are down, when you go to the market and you see a hen or a chicken, okay, the feathers are on that chicken. So you may see a big hen or chicken. When you come home and you put the water on them and you plug them, you will see their real weight. Now, let me explain why I'm using that analogy. Dr. Bawumia is like a chicken whose feathers have been plucked. What you are seeing there is the real weight of the man at his lowest. This man has just suffered a very terrible election defeat. And he manages to retain that level of performance in the face of the most popular government in the last 30 or so years of this government. So one of them is a chicken with all their feathers. and the other one has been plucked clean, and that is their weight. So when these things come together and the power of incumbency is shelved because President Mahama is dropping off, and these new gentlemen, and by the way, when you take Haruna and the list that they showed there, I am sure, and I've told somebody, one of them will be president in my lifetime, maybe two. So I'm not saying they are all bad candidates.
I mean, all these persons.
These people there are two people there. Okay? If Martin reminds me, I'll tell him later. Two people who will be president in my lifetime in NDC. So they are very good candidates. Only two.
Only two out of the what?
Only two out of this lot.
Nine of them.
Yeah, not the next time, but two of them will be president in my lifetime. God help me. Now, so my point is, they are very good candidates. But the dynamics, what Musa is putting here is correct today. But he will tell you, all these elements will change. One, because President Mahama is no longer going to run. That incumbency thing will shave down. Two, when you pluck a chicken, you will know their real weight. These people are getting a 30% right just by NDC. Anybody they put on NDC will get this one. On the other hand, you are looking at a man in Baumia who has been tested for 20 years, under scrutiny for 20 years, suffered a massive election defeat, and still retains the level of popularity he retains. That is the plucked chicken. That is his real weight. We'll see in time.
Well, thank you. Tamaklo, you see, the incumbency advantage or disadvantage, you put it at 30%.
It's also coming up.
Today is 30%.
Today is 30%.
In the years to come.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Yes.
You see, all the people who Musa Dankwa had put their beautiful pictures there, all of them will beat anybody MPP will present.
Today.
Fact. But the question is,
You mean all these people?
all these people,
And he adds a word for you
in fact,
today.
including me. But
That today is very important.
calm down. But you see, for me, the critical question is, NDC politics is a timing politics.
Timing.
Timing.
Which one is not?
And so if you miss the timing conversation in NDC, you are gone. Check from 1992. One misstep, you are gone. And you are gone for good. One misstep.
Unless you are
gone,
President Mahama. You
and
want
you
to
are
go for
gone.
good.
And he bid his time. And time made the difference for him. Quintessential. You hardly get that. A person who got the timing right. That's him. Uniquely so. We have seen growing up people who had all kinds of ambitions in our party, and later it became a very serious one. So it's good Musa Dankwa is doing his work, but I can tell you that it's completely premature. Completely premature, because where I sit and what I see, possibly just one word from the mouth of President Mahama can change all the dynamics. What about that? Our party, if you recall, there were many who were on their flinches. It took one Swedro declaration to change the dynamics of everything. That's the NDC for you. Our party hardly sticks to models. The NDC is a very unique political party. And so, yes, Musa Dankwa, he's an accomplished pollster. He's done this not only in Ghana, he's done this not only for politics, but even for private organizations. He pulls beautiful numbers for private organizations, and I respect him a great deal. But I'm saying that the conversation about NDC flag bearership today is a very premature conversation, and I do not have the competence to tell him not to. What I can urge our party supporters is that we have governance ahead of us. The expectation of the people of Ghana is to deliver on the social contract that President Mahama and the NDC signed with them on the 7th day of December 2024. That is their only legitimate expectation of us. When the time comes, and per the NDC constitution, this whole year we dedicate it to reorganizing the party.
I see.
We'll do our branch elections, constituency election, regional election, national election. Per the party constitution, when we are in government, we have 24 months within to elect. When we are in opposition, 24 months to do that, so you can have enough time. When we are in government, there's not much urgency.
That's 12 months.
12 months is enough for us to do.
So you want to worry about this in 2027?
Because the point is, if we don't deliver, putting anybody on it. And President Mahama has this analogy he used to make. He said, if the horse is not healthy, the person who mounts the horse is irrelevant. Get a healthy horse, and the person who mounts it only do just an additional work. And so at this point, how do you get the NDC as a political party to be healthy for a future election? By delivering, by working on the expectation of the people of this country. That, for me, is what is important. Once you do that, all other things will fall in place. We will win the 2028 election. That, for me, is the most important thing. And that should be the modeling that Musa Dankwa should be putting up.
There is a caution that your General Secretary, Fifi Kwete, put out this week, that there are some elements in the party who are pushing this agenda of a third term for the President, John Dramani Mahama, even though the President himself has stated that he is not interested. And in fact, the Constitutional Review Committee says it never came up as a topic. But this is Fifi Kwete earlier in the week. And I'll ask you what exactly is going on, reason why he came out to make this public statement of caution to people in the party who are doing this. Take a look.
These days, it saddens me when I see so much sycophancy creeping into our party. I see a group of people who obviously, from every indication, they believe that singing the praises of a leader is the only way they can survive. And that's why you hear some of those people even urging statements like there should be a third term. It's just nothing but sycophancy. Pure sycophancy and bootlicking of the highest order. Jerry Rawlings, who was the founder of this party, never at any point was urged by anybody to go for any third term. And you have a bunch of sycophants who today think that all they need to do is to sing praises and hoping that somehow those praises will get them some opportunities that they are looking for. You don't love our country. You don't love our party. If you do, you will not be such sycophants.
That's the General Secretary of the party, Fifi Kwete. Now, Mr. Dankwa, you have to leave us now. We have dealt with the issues in your poll. So thank you.
It's my pleasure.
Happy New Year to you.
Same to you.
I know that within the week you're bringing out something else again. So
no, I'm hiding it.
For weekly. You are doing the weekly poll.
We're not putting it out there. We don't want the pressure to be too much.
No, but we can
to
talk on the side. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I appreciate you coming through.
Pleasure.
Have a good one. Who?
Dr. Brian Champon.
Dr. Brian Champon. So we will see. We will see. I think it's one that he will consider as well. Mr. Tamaklo, this statement by the General Secretary of your party, what is going on?
Okay. So we take this one off.
Yes, please.
Yes.
Prophecy.
This matter, maybe I'll be like Pontius Pilate in this matter. But my General Secretary and my senior brother, the Honorable Fifi Kwete, has never shied away from public comments, particularly those that usually don't wrap very well with everybody.
That's right.
I remember last year an incident which happened. So we have had this NDC lawyers conference in Kumasi.
True.
And as the general secretary of our party, we invited him, invited the national chairman, and some very prominent party members as well. And I remember in that meeting, my general secretary sat by myself. In fact, he was in the middle of myself and the Attorney General, Dr. Yene. So he was giving the mic to share a few words with us. After he finished delivering his speech, I told him that, senior brother, next time I think I have to get you a written speech so that I will edit it before I give you the mic.
When he said there are some NDC lawyers who are cutting deals.
You remember that speech, and it became more of an albatross on the party, and it was something. So on one of our platforms, when the issue came up, I said, look, if I knew that this is what my general secretary was going to say, and that there was dynamite in the speech, I would have taken the mic from him. But that's my general secretary, Fifi Kwete. He's never shied away, and he's always taken a gatekeeping role, even for the party. I want to believe that whatever it is that he said it in good faith, mindful of the fact that for a political party, there are shades of opinion. You see, the D in the NDC is democratic. Even in democracies, people are permitted to be mad.
Okay.
To express views that are completely extreme. Sometimes even reckless. Permissible in democratic societies. The question is, could that same sentiment be expressed maybe differently, or a different forum, or possibly in-house? That possibility also exists. But you see, in all of this, the most important thing for me is, at the end, who is this thing about? It's about the personality and everything that President John Dramani Mahama has worked for. Starting as a member of parliament, January 7th, 1997, having become deputy minister, subsequently becoming a minister, becoming the ranking on foreign affairs for many years, becoming the flag bearer in the running mate in 2008, subsequently becoming president in July 2012, becoming president again, 8 years in opposition, finally president again. I do not know any living Ghanaian today with that level of experience.
So that is it. Enti wuti nkomona. Na chese sebi ebudu sebi enyado. Uti Kofi Bentil a it tells you say omu ankasa hu sisi the kind of direction amamu ekono. In fact, it is on right direction and things are on its way. Debia meka so MPP ni me yedo ananka wodwa who MPP ni na utina baby a press conference e kase Ghana enkoyi a automatically no person man ni jantum automatically no po man ni about 80% of this country, this nation, 80% citizens from this country. I can boldly tell you, say, Omubenya and President John Mahama, ensign contested, unsigned ballot paper, so, on ballot paper, so, Nidi and ballot paper, so, na yɛnkɔto no so aba on 2028 7th December, because nkofo feel say the kind of humility, the kind of, in fact, enthusiasm a wodi awura politics me ene no ama ene obia ni agi politics ho, ama nkofo international world, in fact a lot of countries, it me cite example na siasa mo kai AU, African Union unanimously I endorse President John Mahama at home. So obey, is it ECOWAS chairman and BBC? I stand to be corrected. Is it AU chairman and now ECOWAS chairman? Or no now obey ECOWAS chairman? Ewo 2027 yankopon ya adoma afia edi enimu. Enti se nkonya ade na se onya adwuma papa enka hwan na ebetene ni mamu aka se oh ye hu se president we or ye se ye misa ye hu se bra president ex-president Akufo-Addo teso no ade na yanti sanse ni bi. All over the world people were complaining, people were what, bashing this country, and I am always disappointed in people who always tell Ghana for say the dollar to the what, the CD depreciation or the rate, a cosmetic. These are the things people are free MPP diabolically omuka, but it be say why couldn't they make it cosmetic when they were in power? And I can boldly tell you say MPP as a political party, as a government formed from 2017 to 2024, they had every opportunity to make Ghana a better place for us to live. Besides me say this is the reason why I'm saying that. Yemi say when President Akufo-Addo in 2017, he brought a policy called free SHS. He was able to accommodate a lot of people. Says he can only yet to Kuruma all bomb to catch the Ghana for say Ghana yet is castle a come dear. Says he can no can ohuni wahi. But then upon Chirani ewuyeno and a sebia busebi yado. Yena yeni say a huni tinting. An MPP efri abaimu, an MPP efri tumisono. We are all seeing the diabolic things, the dirty things, the corruption, the looting, the destroying, and the what mismanagement of the economy. Yehuni na yehu. Said the mega making dachi biya NDC from some bibia. It is the same way, the same energy I am going to use it on you. That is why I mean nipa bi to say Bobiansa, nipa bi to say Captain Koji Smart. These are the people Kevin Taylor no almost solena so more can be at their friend this one. I proudly what accept it because no one is above the law. We all what submit ourselves to the law. And he said Kobase ye yema kwabana na se bi kwadwo eni ho no ma the same thing and a kwadwo nso ba ye be e dia ma no. Enti ye ka kire mu MPP fo amuti faces here mo hwe NDC fo amubu man no. If you have any intention to loot this country, you better stop it. If you have any intention to loot this country as an MPP appointee, NDC appointee, NDC CEO, NDC minister, NDC whoever, MCE, DCE, stop it because we are going to talk and shame you people. And you know, say every day, social media, that is our work to come here, criticize, and reshape the government. In the 2026, we are not going to joke. We will give to you back to back. And I've told you on countless occasions, a platform will be a national asset. We will use it to educate the public. We will let the public know what is going on in any government that will come into existence. So why you comment section? Let's also document better. Now, so I like this very video. Now I share now for any be a video. I'm just so a mega. I'm going to share my crowd. Bye bye.